Previously on Mr. and Mrs. P.
I went, I tested alone, and then Eric double line.
Yes.
And then I came to wake you.
And then how did we celebrate?
How did we celebrate? Like running a bomb.
The same thing that got you there. Anyways, not there.
It's happening. It's really happening. Unfortunately, you guys have lost the baby. Oh, she did the scan, and then she didn't find the heartbeat, and she's like, "There's no baby." So, I'm sorry.
So we've got three options. So you are given those three options, right? The first one would be let the process.
So let the process run.
Yeah.
And then it will eventually happen. Or secondly, we assist you through medication, and then you come to theatre for cleanup. They call it a DNC. So we opted for the theatre option, and then the doctor's like, okay, when you leave here, I'm gonna give you a script for meds. You're gonna get production, guys. Okay, anyway, so the doctor's like, I'm gonna give you a script now. You're gonna get pills from the pharmacy. You're gonna drink those tonight, and then tomorrow when you come in, we were supposed to come in later in the afternoon on Tuesday. When you come in later, it's gonna give us the nurse is gonna give us another set of meds that's gonna assist the process to run faster during the night, and then by the time you get into theatre, then easy whatever is left. And then we're like, no problem. That time I had started at my new employer.
Nice.
I think it was a week after I had started. I don't have a relationship with this person. Like who? Wishy-washy.
And the thing is, and you also want to come through, like, especially when you're new at your job, like a job. At
the interview, you were busy. I'm a hard worker.
And then all of a sudden,
what? I came in crushes. Firstly, I came in crushes. When I went, I asked for a wheelchair. I requested a wheelchair. I didn't feel like a
didn't Cass come and get it for you, or
no, no. They didn't. They didn't come through for me that time.
Okay, but they would push you around.
So so I had to call my new employer, my new boss, and I told her what was happening, and she's like, "Take all the time you need." When confirmation you are at the right place. But this was directed by God.
But let take the time you need. It wasn't more of take your time you need, Mara. Like I don't know if sometimes when you will speak to management, they're like, take the time you need.
And then
but like as in, please don't. Like when you're asking anything else I can help you with, no, they don't mean it.
No, but she meant it. So it was just confirmation you are at the right place, and this is just God at work,
So why did you? So for me, it's why did you take the option the surgery?
I don't know, to get it over and done with.
Okay.
I don't know, less stress.
I think it's that, but also there was also more of because of if it's a clean up, they're gonna clean you up, but check anything and all this stuff. Because remember, she also did tests as well. She's like, she's gonna do the clean up, and then
she's like, afterwards she will take samples and take it to theatre to find out what caused the miscarriage, what.
Yeah, because it's very important for the listeners to also, not for the listeners but viewers, to also know.
Oh no, I on YouTube.
Yeah, I can make it for radio.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Oh, come on.
Which should you say?
You go about 91.5. Let's check it. Mondays to Fridays, 69. It's a morning show. so it's very.
Next somebody commented there.
It's 91.5. Oh, come on. So it's very important maybe to also know as well, because and that's why Google would say, which option did you take, right? Or did we take? Because as much as yes, she would take the option, baby, what do you think as you know? Yeah, the head. You know, that type of
but
thing.
most people,
yeah,
as much as you're saying, why did I choose that option? Most times, as a man, he will give the woman that freedom to make the choice.
True.
Yeah, it's your body. Yes, I'm in this with you, but it is your body, and I respect the decision that you make because I'm supportive. Yes.
True.
Because sometimes it's like, hey, isn't that, hey, like I'm a Christian and all, but then they're like, hey, let nature take its course. God wanted things to be what? Why are you going? I don't know. I'm just saying.
Okay. No. Yeah. So we're not saying, I mean, there's no right or wrong option. But we chose
both options work.
Yes.
And also it worked better for us because we knew the doctor would get the sample that she needs to go get the stuff tested.
Yeah.
So we get to the hospital. They check us in. You were there till they chased you out.
And I was hoping that I'd be able to sleep there because there was like some other small room there.
Yeah, I got a private room. They're like, we'll give you a private room. We'll give you all the privacy that you need. They were very nice.
Yeah.
The room was huge. Like, it was big.
It was big, sure.
And then it had a private bathroom as well.
But next, but
it's time for you to go. But also we didn't know.
Yeah.
So go live 4 ways.
4 ways.
They have, so Discovery has a pod for dads and whoever would like to sleep over. So they have a bed for you to sleep over there, and then they give you, I think they give you a kit. Maybe it's
you're not kitty, it was just kit.
Toothbrush you can freshen up. They'll tell us the name. I get Lona guys little clever. Yeah, but it's a deal over to
okay.
But first class. It's how traveler first class and business class. You get those care packages. I don't know what they call them, but yeah. So Discovery has that go live 4 ways, but we didn't know at that time. So he had to go, but he came the next morning. So in the next morning, I went to theater for the procedure. At night I had cramps. So you're supposed to have cramps and then the process will happen, but it didn't happen with me. I just had cramps and nothing came out. So the next day we went to theater in the morning, and then the procedure happened. What happened after the procedure?
The procedure happened and then you came back, and then
was I awake?
You were still dazed, you were sleeping, you were still sleeping a bit. So yeah. So you came back, and then after coming back, you were still, and then we left only later that night, later that evening. That's when they're like, you need to sit down a bit, and then from there on, let's eat, and then we'll go home. So that's what we did. So now reality hits. So now you're going back home. You know that moment where after they told you that this is happening, but now the reality hits that you're going back home.
Because you don't really process it, right? At that moment, you're like, what are the immediate next steps? But you don't think of the future. Hey, baby shower.
Like, guys,
hey, mom to be, daddy to be, how are you going to break it to the family? Stuff like that, yeah.
So
you get home.
And it's the two of you guys.
And now you realize that the house is big.
Because we're too fair. So yeah. And then you get home, and then
how did you feel?
Well, I was sad, right? But sometimes it's so weird because totally a partner, because it's her body, because it's that. So now I want to check how you're feeling. And at the time, there was a point where you were not showing a lot of emotion. Like you were not showing a lot of emotion. It was just also more on, it happened, it's okay. It's God's will.
Let's move on.
Let's just move on. In my head, I'm like, and you know how most of the times people that go for your 21 days and stuff like that, it's because of a lot of things that they didn't process, that would happen to them. And I was thinking, and when you were just on, it happened, let's move on, let's, that type of thing. So how did you feel? It happened, let's move on.
Yeah, I'm that type of person, right? I think when something happens, especially when something major happens, at that time I deal with it. in my mind, I'm a logical person. So I find different solutions. When I mind map on my head, I look at different solutions. That's how I process. And then I'm like, okay, it's done. Okay. Hello, Ian, you've cried or whatever. Sometimes I don't even cry. And I'm like, okay, let's move on. What's the next step? You know? And I don't go back to it.
Okay.
But there were instances when it would hit out of nowhere, and then I would feel sad and I'll talk to you about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, you were there to listen all the time. Not Mumulu. So yeah, I think for me, that's how I deal. I
go through,
but like I logicalize.
Yeah.
Because of Mrs. Diary. Dictionary.
Yeah.
So Mrs. Dictionary maybe has the word, but logically I will process the stuff and then I will find a way out.
Okay.
And that's me. And once I found a way out, I've dealt with it. And we move on.
Okay.
You know? Yeah. Whereas some people will have to go through therapy, whatnot. But you mentioned, Corey, it's something that had happened in your previous relationship as well.
Yeah. So
how do you deal? Because there's some men that maybe process things like I do, keep them at the back of their head or let it just pass.
No, I think with me it was just more of it's happening. I know it's gonna happen. Like, you know, it hits. It really, really does hit. You start questioning a lot of things and stuff. But again, just like you, after it happened. You go through the emotions then, and then from there onwards I move on. Yeah. And then you're like hoping that, okay, now we've learned. Now we know. Because remember, they came back. They're like, no, there was nothing major wrong. You know, you guys can try again or something like that. So
because sometimes it's nothing magical. Okay, magical.
No, words, guys.
Medical.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's not medically related. Sometimes miscarriages just happen.
Yeah.
There's no medical reason towards it. Sometimes sometimes you don't even tell people and it happens.
Yeah.
So it was just that it was one of those. It wasn't meant to be, and yeah, it was. So when they do the test, they check the gender of the child. They check the chromosomes. Like chromosomes, like they check or maybe they don't add up because they have 26 chromosomes. Let me correct on another medical what.
Yes.
And then sometimes they have 25 or what. But then one was a complete one. It was a girl. Yeah. So there was nothing wrong. It was not our time.
Yeah. And that's it. So that's our story of our first try. Probably lovers of life.
And lovers of each other.
Still love you guys.
And we still love each other.
Yes.